Good morning. It's Thursday, May 7th. I'm Miriam Bosiljevets. A letter obtained through police trickery can be used as evidence against a Fort Smith man. Dallas Abraham is facing a dozen charges, including assault and sexual assault. On Wednesday, a judge ruled on the admissibility of a letter in his case. Cabin Radio's Emily Blake has more.
Abraham wrote the letter following his arrest in September 2024. An RCMP officer had told Abraham if he wanted to say anything to the complainant, he could write it in a letter and police would make sure she saw it. The officer later testified that was a tactic to collect evidence. Abraham's lawyer had tried to have the letter thrown out as evidence, but Justice Sheila McPherson said that Abraham had been advised of his rights numerous times, and he spoke to 2 lawyers before he was questioned. She said the officer had used an acceptable technique to obtain the letter.
Abraham will face a jury trial on the charges in Fort Smith in September. A 3-panel judge has dismissed Kevin Mantla's appeal over his second-degree murder conviction and sentencing. Mantla is serving life in prison for the killing of Elvis Lafferty in Yellowknife 11 years ago and the attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend. He had appealed on the grounds that his lawyer didn't properly represent him and he didn't mean to kill anyone. The NWT Court of Appeals said this week that Mantla's crimes had been horrific, and the courts got the original conviction and sentence right. A week after the NWT Centennial Library in Hay River shut its doors, there is still no clear timeline for it to reopen. The volunteer committee that ran the library stepped down at the end of April. The municipality has yet to decide how the committee will be replaced, although Councillor Tom Lacusta says the town doesn't expect the closure to last.
Councillors were just talking about the circumstances. We're all pretty saddened by it all, of course. And the other part about what's going to happen next, I can't answer because I'm just not sure. But we are hopeful, the town is hopeful that we'll have more information to share maybe a week from now.
The situation was triggered in part by changes to GNWT funding. The collective agreement for thousands of GNWT staff may have expired, but the Union of Northern Workers says negotiations are still at an early stage. The deal between the GNWT and UNW expired at the end of March. In the past, negotiations have sometimes dragged on for years after a collective agreement lapsed. This time around, the union says it's preparing to submit a comprehensive financial proposal in July. The Territorial Agri-Food Association plans to host its Grow NWT conference in Hay River for the first time. The 2027 edition of the 3-day event, tentatively set for late March, will focus on agricultural opportunities, research, and innovation. Agri-Food Association boss Janet Dean hopes it'll help develop the sector by connecting farmers and growers.
We really felt that Hay River was primed and ready for that, not only with their commitment to the redevelopment of the old Northern Farm Training Institute, but also their commitment as a town.
Read more on CabinRadio.ca. And what would you say to Frame Lake if it was a person? 2 Yellowknife groups want your answer to that tonight. The NWT Wildlife Foundation and Fly Kid Foundation say it's a novel way to discuss the neglected lake, which has been dead for decades. Brian Huppel is the Fly Kid Foundation's executive director.
People say, I can read the water as a fly fisher. Well, I perfectly believe that it's allowed to talk back.
Doors open at the Prince of Wales Northern Heritage Centre at 6:30 p.m. The event starts at 7. Your weather forecast for today, Yellowknife 7 with a high chance of rain showers or flurries. Inuvik 0 degrees and mainly cloudy. Norman Wells, high of 11 and mainly cloudy. Hay River 7 with a few showers. Fort Smith 10 with a high chance of rain showers or flurries. And Fort Simpson 11 degrees today with rain.